What does Gen Z, your boss, and your favorite influencer all have in common? They don't trust traditional leadership. And honestly, they're not wrong. We're living in a time where titles don't hold the weight they used to. Trust is low, respect is questioned, and connection is broken. But here's the truth: a leadership was never just about titles, it's always been about influence. And today, influence looks very different. I want to talk to you about rebuilding trust, not just in leadership roles, but in the relationships we build as leaders across generations, industries, and digital spaces. And for me, that journey started in Miami with a lesson I never saw coming. In 2021, I co-led a Women's Empowerment Summit with the CEO of Women in Media Global. I knew this person from previously interning together at Radio 1 Philadelphia during our undergrad years. I watched this person build up their company from a small event business into a powerhouse, helping women climb the ladder within the media industry. And we also knew some of the same people. And despite what some mutual friends personally shared with me on their experiences working with this person, I trusted the character I thought I knew, along with their track record. This was someone I admired, a media professional with a strong public appearance. But what happened behind the scenes taught me a hard lesson. And since that event, I promise I have vowed never to even speak that person's name. That's how horrible this experience was for me. There was miscommunication, disrespect, and broken promises. Even worse, I was handed a contract claiming rights to the photography I produced with no prior discussion. I packed my bags and flew home early. And after a few days, this person even thought upon themselves to contact me requesting that content with no apology, accountability to action, or compensation. Blocked. It was in that moment I realized something important. Leadership without integrity isn't leadership at all. It's branding. I read an article on Rebuilding Broken Trust in Leadership by Barbara Mitchell. She shares that rebuilding trust is a shared responsibility. Once leaders understand that they are not trusted, there is a good chance they will act to rebuild trust. My experience wasn't just a work mistake, it was a leadership breakdown. That experience taught me to stop idolizing appearances and start evaluating behavior. I realized that real leadership isn't about authority or image. It's about how you treat people when no one is watching. And that realization pushed me to think deeper about the kind of leader I wanted to become. Leadership is evolving, especially across generations. From baby boomers to Gen Z, we are all bringing different values to the workplace. We all show up differently, we all communicate differently, and that means we all lead differently too. Researchers at the Center of Creative Leadership explains that while core values often form in adolescence, our work values evolve as we grow and respond to new social environments. Gen Z, for example, doesn't want a boss. They want a collaborator. While older generations value hierarchy, younger generations value access. That's where leadership becomes less about control and more about connection. There's this article I stumbled across, The Trust Trap. And in this article, Dave Rogers mentions leaders need to give teams the space to work autonomously. It's not about control, but it's about support and trust. One of the ways that I've embraced this shift is through podcasting. I help creators, young and old, build platforms that align with their stories and creative skill. I guide older clients through their first recordings and mentor younger talent in finding their voice. It's in these moments that I see leadership come full circle. I'm not leading from a podium, I'm leading from behind the scenes, and that matters too. Because leadership today isn't always loud. It's sometimes quiet influence. creating space, building trust, and helping others rise. During a previous course called Current Issues in New Media, I developed an idea that brought all of these lessons together. Hostgos, an AI-powered communication assistant designed to support media professionals when they can't be physically present. It started as a solution to industry gaps, missed segments, delays, and inconsistent transitions. But it grew into something bigger. Hostgos was inspired by a real-world moment from The Breakfast Club. The show had recently introduced two new public figures, comedian Jess Hilarious and news reporter Lauren LaRosa. Though both women brought value to the show, their roles were misunderstood. Lauren was brought in as a producer, while Jess was the owner of talent. Jess Hilarious had just returned from maternity leave, only to feel replaced by a new team member. The misunderstanding exploded into public conflict, all because communication was missing. Now, though the two women eventually resolved the misunderstanding and moved forward in support of one another, the situation highlighted a major leadership and communication gap. Hostgos was designed to fix that. It uses voice cloning, holograms, and built-in content planning to keep human connection intact, even when someone can't be physically there. This tool reflects relational leadership. It supports consistency, clarity, and collaboration. Gen Z loves tech. Older generations love reliability. Hostgos delivers both. It's not about replacing people, it's about preserving the presence. I used to think leadership was about being chosen. Now I understand it's about choosing to show up. And you gotta show up with purpose and with people in mind. This class challenged me to think deeply about how we lead across digital spaces, how we adapt across generations, and how we use innovation for connection. This class also helped me reflect on what kind of leader I want to be. Now, I don't want to be the loudest voice in the room. I don't want to be the one with the title, but the one who listens, who shows up, and the one who builds trust. The most powerful thing I learned throughout this course, leadership doesn't work without followership. Young and Tesson said it best in their publication, Followership, an important partner of leadership. Good followership can be learned, and the most important function followers possess is to provide feedback. Only poor leadership happens when that followership is ignored. This journey started with a painful experience, one that made me question my place in leadership, but it's important to know broken trust can be repaired. Those moments don't define us, they shape us. They remind us to lead with empathy, not ego. Leadership today is about building together and building better. In digital spaces, in real spaces, and in conversations in between. Thank you.